Shots of Brown, shots of Brown, black, black. Show 'em on the track, show 'em on the track. Take a shot, take a shot, take a shot. Shots of Brown. You can take it straight or on the rock. Shots of Brown. On this platform, it goes down. Shots of Brown. They know it ain't no cap on Shots of Brown. Take a shot.
Welcome to Shots of Brown, baby. Listen, if you're new here, you know what to do here. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Actually, hit that notification bell as well, so when I drop a video, you'll be the first one to know that it dropped. Yes, and if you ain't already, make sure you following on Instagram at Shots of Brown. Listen. I know y'all see the title, and I'm gonna let you know why I feel that way later in the video. Just keep watching. But I'm gonna just give a little history on Max Lomas, the friend of BOBBI KRISTINA, my cousin, my first cousin. Rest in peace, cousin. I'm gonna speak a little bit on Max Lomas and what I know. And if y'all are watching this and y'all know a little more information, y'all drop it in the comments and put me on to something that I may not know. But get on Max Lomas a little bit, just a little of his background. As I did my investigation on Max Lomas, I see that he was a friend of Chrissy. He said that, you know, him and Chrissy was once dating. Auntie Whitney, he claimed that Auntie Whitney took him in as well as a troubled teen and showed him love. You know, that was the heart that she had, always showing everybody love, trying to save and help everybody. But yeah, he said, you know, Auntie Whitney took him in and he was, you know, as a troubled teen, and he was happy that, Auntie Whitney was happy that Max and Chrissy was dating. And Auntie Whitney supposedly, allegedly told him, you know, I'm happy y'all dating, just make sure you watch and protect over my daughter. Max then eventually goes to jail around 2011. And when Max goes to jail and he comes out, Chrissy is now dating Nick Gordon. All right. I don't know the relationship that Nick and Max had. I don't know if they was cool before Chrissy, or if they got cool, or, you know, Chrissy was the one who bridged the gap for them to be cool and have a relationship. I'm not too quite sure on that. But as far as Max Lomas, so he comes home and now Chrissy is dating Nick. I remember back in the day around this time, you know, when Chrissy was going through her things, I used to go back and forth, have some words with this guy Max on the internet before, because there was some things that was said on the internet about some guns or something crazy, and me and him had some words before on the internet, and, you know, these guys was something different. But so now, like I was saying, I don't know if Chrissy bridged the gap for Nick and him to be cool or not. I don't know how that happened, but allegedly he starts staying there. He starts living in the townhouse with Chrissy and Nick. He had a girlfriend by the name of Daniela Bradshaw. The parents allegedly called the police to a hotel that that Max Lomas and his girlfriend Daniela was at. The parents alleging that he was drugging her to get her to stay where he was. Police come. The daughter, the girlfriend, lets them know, I'm not in harm. No, that's not what's going on. I'm safe, whoop-de-whoop. Okay, that's probably not what was going on. You know what I'm saying? She was probably with him free willingly. But the parents knowing that these aren't the type of people that their daughter should be around, and they probably didn't, they knowing that these aren't good people. This isn't a good crowd for my daughter to be around. So that probably is why these parents made this phone call. They knew that this wasn't a good guy. You know what I'm saying? So the police come there. She lets them know, no, that's not what's taking place. Boom, boom, boom. Allegedly, they search. They find a firearm, some weed, some Xanax. He ends up going to jail. This was like a month before Chrissy. Leave it to Max. He says that, he was there through the whole relationship with Nick and Chrissy. So he says they had a very toxic relationship. They would argue and fight mainly over jealousy. Both of them back and forth accusing both of them of cheating. Now, that goes back to what I said previously. I don't know if Nick and Max had a relationship before Chrissy. I don't know if they was cool. They was all ran in the same circle, or Chrissy was the one that bridged that gap. But here it is. They're both staying in the same house with Chrissy, and these are two people that Chrissy was dating at one point. So I could see that even being an issue. You know what I'm saying? I could see that being an issue. There's been talks and all that about Chrissy dating someone else, and I'm going to get to all that. I'm going to break all this down piece by piece now. But, so he says that, they would argue and fight a lot over jealousy. So he says leading up, weeks prior, leading up to, Chrissy being unalived, there was a lot of partying, a lot of fighting, a lot going on around that time. Which I can understand, and I'm pretty sure Chrissy was going through a lot around that time as well, because, her death date anniversary was right around the corner, within the next week and a half. So we all know it was all out there about Chrissy's drug use, her alcohol abuse and all that, her drinking and her doing all that. I'm not running away shy from that. I'm pretty sure Chrissy was indulging in things, you know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure around that time, things have gotten even worse. I mean, as they got closer and closer to the death date, I'm pretty sure they was indulging more and more and more. You know what I'm saying? So to his accounts, there was a lot going on weeks leading up to this. You know what I'm saying? And in the same time of all this, like I told y'all before, in the same time, Chrissy was back talking to her pops. She was planning on moving to the West Coast, to LA with her dad, to go out there and for them to rekindle their relationship and do some things. So I don't know if Nick was privy to that information off rip. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he knew that, or if, he found that out later and this is what caused these things to take place. But needless to say, he says, they just had a real toxic relationship. So the night before Chrissy was unalived, I guess supposedly Max and Nick was out at a strip club, and they was out late and they was, just partying and vibing. And I guess Chrissy was upset about it, and Chrissy and Nick was arguing back and forth, and they was going through their emotions. Now, this is the part where I was a little confused. Because it was said that, Max lived in the townhouse with Nick and Chrissy. So after they left from the strip club and all that, did he not go back to the townhouse, or did he go somewhere else? Because then he says he got to the townhouse around 8 o'clock that morning. He gets to the townhouse around 8 o'clock that morning. He doesn't see Chrissy. He just is there with Nick. He says Nick said Chrissy was in the bedroom. But then he also says that Chrissy and them was fighting, and then they was fighting, and then Chrissy went upstairs and blah, 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 and they calmed down. So did that take place before or after they went to the club? But I don't know. But either or, he said when he got there at 8 o'clock in the morning, he didn't see Chrissy. He just seen Nick. And, Nick was moving around the house and doing his thing, so he didn't really, wasn't really paying attention to Nick's whereabouts. So he said around 10 o'clock that morning, the cable man arrives. They needed access to the bedroom where Chrissy was. He gave the cable man access to the bedroom, and that's where Max then found Chrissy in the bathtub. And he's, pulled her out. He screamed for Nick. Nick gives her CPR. They call the police. All this good stuff, right? So it's like, it left me a little confused, because it's like if you seen them fighting and you said they made up and Chrissy went upstairs, was that the night prior? Because that you said you arrived back at the back at the townhouse around 8 in the morning, and you didn't see Chrissy. So that's where I'm a little confused at. But either or, he then calls Nick. Nick comes and he said, Nick is trying to give us CPR. Nick is going crazy, blah, blah, blah. They call the police. Police come. All this good stuff, right? So yeah, then the police come. These guys get questioned. Max and Nick then get questioned by the police. Right after they get questioned, they immediately lawyer up, right? When the police department once again wants to question Max Lomas again, his lawyer then says, can his client get immunity if he speaks? This is what leads me to believe that he knew exactly what happened to Chrissy. He seen something, or he knew exactly what happened to Chrissy. Something took place that he knew. He asked for immunity. For those who don't know what immunity is, I wrote this down. Immunity in a legal context means being protected from legal action or punishment, even if someone has violated a law or caused harm. Okay, so he asked for immunity. What law did he break? Was he involved in something that took place? Did he help cover something up? I also seen claims on here where he said that Nick cleaned up some blood that was around the house. I don't know if that was 100% true. That's just something that I've been seeing on certain sites, certain places when I look, Max up. I don't know if that's to be 100% true or not. So I'm not going to put that on him. Excuse me. But for him to then want immunity, for him to be able to speak and not be charged with anything, lets me know that he was involved in something. What was it that he was involved in? We'll never quite know. Know what I'm saying? But he knew exactly what took place, and he wanted to say it. He wanted to tell it. I also then seen that he did an interview and he was trying to get clean, and he was saying that, in 2016, Chrissy passed in 2015. 2016, he said him and Nick, was no longer friends. They don't speak, that is nothing. I believe that he wanted to speak on what took place with Chrissy, but he didn't want to be held accountable or charged with anything or any role that he played. Maybe he helped cover something up or whatever it was. He didn't want to be charged with that. He wanted to speak, say what happened, but he didn't want to take no liability for nothing. From what I was reading, they denied the immunity, but then you never really heard too much more about it. Know what I'm saying? They knew Chrissy was unalive. The state knew, the DA knew, everybody knew. And I'm going to get more into the DA, Paul Howard, and why I feel as if, reasons why I feel as if, this didn't go anywhere. Because this was, they knew, they knew. Chrissy had bruises, she was injured, teeth missing, she was drugged up the stairs. There was evidence of a crime. So I don't know why there was never no charges being brought up against anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm still confused about that to this day. But I believe in my heart of hearts that Max probably did want to speak on some things. You know what I'm saying? I think he wanted to speak on what he knew. That's why he wanted the immunity. And if they would have granted him the immunity, that he would have spilled the beans on what happened. What happened to Chrissy that day, that morning. But then, after that, I guess Max was going through, they was all kids, man. Kids getting high, making the wrong decisions, surrounding themselves surrounding themselves around the wrong crowd. You feel me? Max said around that time, though, a few weeks leading up to that, they all came together, the whole group, they all came together and said, listen, let's get our life right. Let's stop getting high. And they try to get clean, and they started going to the gym and, just trying to, said they wanted to get healthy and get their life on track. But sometimes it's hard to do that, you know what I'm saying, when you don't have the proper help, you feel me? And they all went back to using, you know what I'm saying, unfortunately. And these events took place. Max ended up, dying as well due to an overdose. I guess he ended up moving to Mississippi a few years later, trying to get clean. He went out there and went to a rehab. They said supposedly he was doing good, but then once again, he fell short to his addiction and went back to using, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? But this one particular night, he goes to a friend's house, and I guess he goes in the bathroom, and the friend was like, damn, he been in there a little too long. And the friend goes in the bathroom and sees him crouched over the toilet, deceased, with a syringe right there close to him. Unfortunately, Max overdosed. You know what I'm saying? You never know what he was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Living with the guilt and not speaking up on what happened to Chrissy, someone that he claimed that was a friend of his that he loved. You know what I'm saying? These, Auntie Whitney and Chrissy took care of these people, man. Only in the end for these people to really not give a fuck about them. You know what I'm saying? But that's the heart that Auntie Whitney had. She had a big heart. You feel me? She had a big heart. And I'm pretty sure she felt like she was looking out for Chrissy. She did that on behalf of Chrissy, Auntie Whitney. She did that on behalf of Chrissy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they ended up finding him deceased as well. And this is all crazy how all these people died, and they all knew information, and that they could all speak on certain things, and they all just started dropping. Like, everybody that's involved in this whole thing is no longer here to speak on it. There's people out there that know, Chrissy's friends that know, that's still alive, that could speak on some things. Days leading up to all this, Chrissy was texting friends, reaching out to family and friends. She even texted a friend saying that, she didn't know what to do with him. She was tired of being controlled, tired of Nick telling her what she can and can't do, and all type of things. So Chrissy was going through it on all type of levels. You know what I'm saying? And I think that she was finally waking up at this point and seeing that these people, that she needed to make a change because these people around her wasn't no good. I think Chrissy was waking up. And I feel as if Chrissy, at some point in time, they found out that Nick found out that Chrissy was about to be gone, and she was moving to LA with her dad, and the gravy train was about to be over for him. He was upset about it, and things took place, and now my cousin is no longer here with us. You feel me? Unfortunately, man. Crazy situation. I'm gonna do a lot more speaking on it. Rest in peace to Bobby Chris. We love you. As long as your big cousin's living, I'm gonna forever keep your name alive, your legacy going. But this goes to all the kids, anybody who may just be watching this. Just watch your circle, man. Watch who you keep around you. You know what I'm saying? Say no to drugs, man. Stay in school, kids. Do the right thing. Life is too short, man. And all these, my cousin, she was left here too soon. She had a lot that she wanted to do here. And unfortunately, with the people that she placed herself around, and she's no longer here. So kids, y'all make the right decisions, man. Do the right thing. Chrissy, I love you. I'll be back. Shots of Brown, baby. If you ain't already, Shots of Brown on Instagram.